So this is a small space that in 2015 my production was here, and in 2016 my production was here. Then later on in 17 we moved the production to a Madrigal winery in Calistoga. But surrounding this tiny little winemaking space is a manufacturing facility, which is my family's my family's manufacturing. And when I first started out this project, it was a not the most glamorous space, but it was a free space. It's not unusual. It's actually one of those things when I was first trying to bring people, to come visit and taste here at the winery. At first I was thinking, is this that, great a spot for people to come visit? And as I've had people come, everyone is, they like it. It's kind of, they see everyone's got to start somewhere, and they taste the wines, and, it really doesn't matter, exactly where you're sitting. 2015 was the first vintage here, but I started making wine in Wisconsin in 2010. I lived in California for many years, worked up and down the West Coast, worked in New Zealand, went to school for winemaking in New Zealand, but I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a Midwestern guy. And, was it after the vintage of 2008 harvest, I came back to Wisconsin just to, see my family. I was an intern in Santa Barbara, and so that job was done. So in the meantime, when I was looking for another job, came back here and met my now wife, which is a big part of why I'm still here in Wisconsin, and started working for the family, business while I was here. But I didn't want to stop winemaking. So I had a bunch of friends in the industry still, and I contacted them and got some fruit shipped out to me here, and made a little bit of wine for friends, family. And every year since then, I made a little bit more, tried something new, got this, and finally in 2015 decided, hey, let's make a real go of this. And now it's 2018, and we're on our 17 was our third official Stringer Cellars vintage, but it's been been taking off ever since. 2001, I believe. Yeah, it was 2001, because I was probably 15, 16, the wine bug caught me. I was looking at going to college at the University of San Francisco and at Humboldt State in Northern California. And we had a day off between college visits, and we stopped in Napa. And, I was just blown away that these people live in this beautiful place. They go to these fantastic restaurants. They work in these beautiful buildings. I knew that was something that was interested me. So immediately started reading Wine Spectator and got a job at the local wine shop. That eventually did end up going to school in Santa Barbara. And right when I got there, I started applying to be a cellar rat at, any place that would have me, and got a job at Fiddlehead Cellars in 2001.
Not a bad place to start.
Yeah, it was good. Kathy is a great winemaker. She also has Wisconsin roots too. I believe she's from Madison, And started there, worked there for a while, and then was at Robert Sinskey in Napa for a while. Then I was in Oregon for a while. Like I said, then New Zealand for several years. I went to enology school there, and then worked on both the North Island and the South Island, and then back to Santa Barbara. And then that sort of brings me up to 2009 when we came back to Wisconsin. There really are. I don't know a lot of them personally, but I read about them all the time. I know that there's the Helioterra woman in Oregon, obviously Kathy, I think someone from Zapaltis, I believe, is in Santa Barbara.
Ryan Zapaltis is from Wisconsin, as well as Susan Sokolblasser.
Yes, I did know that. So there's a restaurant called Circa 1880 in Milwaukee that they have a part of their wine list is the roots of Wisconsin roots, and they have searched out all these Wisconsin winemakers, and I was fortunate enough to be featured in that section. So I'm making primarily reds, I make a few different Cabernets, all from Napa. I make 2 Syrahs, one from Mendocino County and the other from Ballard Canyon, which is in Santa Barbara County. Chardonnay from Santa Rita Hills, a Rosé from Santa Barbara County, and I do have some, Petit Verdot, but that's probably gonna get, blended away. I might have a little just for the tasting room, but primarily big red wines. For the Chardonnay, I get it from John Sebastiano Vineyard, which is in Santa Rita Hills. I love Santa Rita Hills Chardonnay. I truly think that's the best place in the United States to grow Chardonnay. So when I was looking for a vineyard, that was an easy one. I also have, I've done most of my winemaking in Santa Barbara County, so I have more sort of connections and friends out there. So that was, so I was able to get in on that vineyard. Also Syrah from Ballard Canyon, Harrison Clark Vineyard, which is, again, I have a very soft spot in my heart for Santa Barbara wines. Let's see. Then in Napa, I get Stagecoach Cabernet. I did get, I'll touch on this a little bit later, Coliseum Block Cabernet, which is right in the hills between, off Soda Canyon Road, hills between Atlas Peak and Stag's Leap. Then I get some Ghost Block Cabernet, which is Yountville, sort of right on the base of the hill, sort of behind the cemetery in Yountville. Syrah, I get Alder Springs Syrah, which is way, way, way north in Laytonville in Mendocino County, which is one of the coolest vineyard spots you'll ever see. And that's it right now.